All right, look. Now, on my channel, we get straight to the content. Now, if you see my eyes a little glassy, my boy, I got allergies. Or my girl. Well, not my girl, but like, if you're a female. I don't got a lot of female subscribers, but I got real bad allergies right now. Now, I'm not trying to go on a crazy rant, and I'm not trying to make conspiracy theories. But I'm about to cook Joe Buttons a little bit, because his energy was a little off. Now, I'm driving. Yes, I am. I'm at the grocery store. Y'all see I got a little drink. I ain't gonna tell y'all what's in it because I'm drinking and driving, but you know what time it is. So listen, man. Before I get into this rant, I am a huge sports nerd. Some of y'all don't know that. I'm a huge sports nerd. Before I get into the Joe Buttons podcast, yo, the Niners are the easiest team to hate. I'm not going to lie, right? First of all, Nick Bosa is uber MAGA. I can't stand Nick Bosa, bro. I don't wish injury on no player, but when he got hurt, did not care, bro. Not going to cap. The Niners, especially after Kaepernick, listen, I'm not even trying to hear y'all opinions on Kaepernick in the comments, so don't leave it. Especially how the Niners handle Kaepernick, and I don't like how they handle Jim Harbaugh, not going to lie. But they are the easiest team to hate. So you got Brock Purdy, right? Brock Purdy scores, and he does the Dougie, right? My boy killed it. I'm not going to lie. He did a really good job doing the Dougie, right? So here they go interviewing George Kittle, right? I'm going to let y'all know that I view George Kittle like a fake wigger. So if you know enough about George Kittle, he's really into sneaker culture. He into a lot of black cultural stuff, but you could tell that he be on Twitter and watch too much Joe Rogan, bro. Not gonna lie. So they interview him. Now, if you watch the game live, like me, because I'm a dodo that paid $400 for NFL Sunday tickets, so I seen it live, right? As Brock Purdy whips out the Dougie, George Kittle goes like this. Like he's in shock, right? Then when they ask him about it during the interview, he's like, yeah, I was surprised, but God forbid a white guy have motion. My boy, what do you mean, God forbid a white guy have motion? You were surprised the white guy had motion. You got to get off Twitter. You gotta, like, I'm telling you, I'm not saying George Kittle is racist, but he be following racist ideology type stuff. Just by that, bro, when he hit the Dougie, you were surprised. Then you gonna say, God forbid, a white guy have motion. Shut up. We watch Jackson Dart get busy every week. Shut your mouth, bro. Jackson Dart then whipped out the most dances. Like, please, bro. All right, so let's get into Joe Buttons podcast, man. I'm not going to lie. My grandfather once told me it's a lot of truth in a joke, right? So Joe Buttons is talking about Thanksgiving and asking people, like, did they family pray type stuff, right? Now, I had Thanksgiving with my family. I was in Philly, and they prayed. I'm not going to lie. It ain't even that cold in the car, I promise, but I got a lot of North Face on. So Joe Budden starts talking about how his driver is Muslim. Then he's kind of poking fun at Mona being Muslim. Excuse me. Then he's kind of poking fun at Muslims in general, right? It sounds like an anti-Muslim rant. Not gonna lie. Because the jokes weren't funny. And he kept saying them. Like, he kept saying jokes the whole time. So the jokes actually weren't funny. Like, they were actually, like, corny. And he's laughing at it. And he's laughing about how much Muslim people pray. And this and that and that and this. And I was like, he went on a mini rant. Listen, y'all know I love Joe Buttons, bro. But we got to call out the BS. He went on a mini anti-Muslim rant, bro. There's no getting around it. And the whole time I kept thinking, damn, is Joe doing this in support of Ian Schwartzman? I'm not saying he is. I'm saying this how I felt, bro. Because I never heard Joe. And remember, Joe had a FBA arc where he was in his foundational Black American bag. Now he fell back from that, right? He has fallen back from that. I think Queen's Flip crying, complaining, and calling him out on that made him fall back from that. But he has fell back from his FBA rant. But this little mini Muslim rant that he did, y'all might see the joke in it. I was like, it's not even funny, and he kept pressing it. And I was like, damn, is that the Ian Schwartzman effect? Because Joe Budden's being in the podcast industry, Joe Budden's being in hip hop, Joe Budden's is in the game. He got skin in the game. He's in the game. I think it's some other groups that he can make fun of, and I've been watching Joe Budden's forever, the podcast, and I've been listening to Joe Budden's since I was like 18 years old. I don't think he would make fun of them other folks like that, bro. I'm not going to lie, bro. I don't think he would tease Ian Schwartzman if Buddy had on a yarmulke. Not going to lie. Gotta be careful with low-hanging fruit activity. You see this from, if you're familiar with the Rogan sphere, they'll make jokes about like a lot of stuff, and it's like you making jokes about black people. Oh, making jokes black people get them. Oh, you making fun of Latino people. Oh, like, okay, bro, like you have no substance. That's why most of them suck. So I was really like looking at Joe like, all right, bro, like, and then the craziest thing, and see, I was born Baptist, right? So my whole family is like Christian. And a lot of my family is religious. My dad to this day still go to church. You know what I'm saying? My dad is the person that taught me the word. My dad, actually, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, he didn't do this on purpose, but he made me look at religion like anime. So I look at the Bible as cool because I look at it as like Naruto or like One Punch Man. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't being disrespectful. I just look at it like that. So Joe is throwing Muslim people under the bus for praying. He's talking about, oh, Ice, you didn't pray. Your family didn't pray. Oh, Parks, your family didn't pray. My family prayed. And guess what he does? Right after talking about all this prayer, he goes into a Prize Pick ad. Yo, you cannot make this up, bro. I was like, well, clearly Joe Budden don't know nothing about prayer or religion because he talks about prayer and religion, and then he goes into a Prize Pick ad. Listen, bro, if you follow the word, if you follow Christianity, I don't think God would be in favor of Prize Picks. I don't think he would have a parlay, bro. Not gonna lie to you, bro. That was a mess. From his anti-Muslim rant to like talking about prayer, then going into a Prize Pick ad, that was a mess, bro. Now listen, man. Other than that, it was a good podcast overall. You still got Mark Lamont Hill. Yo, I don't know if y'all peep it. Mark Lamont Hill is one of the most shadiest podcasters I ever listened to, and I listen to a lot of podcasts. He is always kind of throwing someone under the bus, especially Ish. It's kind of annoying, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. And Ish, my boy Ish, I ain't gonna lie. It's another part in the podcast where Mona and Joe are talking about like, so I'm 40, so they talking about like when you was growing up and like people might put rock in a sock or a lock in a sock, like just people using weapons to fight, right? Now I remember shit like that. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I remember stuff like that, right? Ish starts cracking up laughing like, oh, y'all was too broke for a gun. Yo, I'm 40 years old. Ish is older than me. Bro, everyone did not have a strap, bro. Why does Ish always have to be a super thug, bro? Just don't understand it, bro. I just don't understand why he always has to be a super thug, bro. He's like, oh, y'all couldn't afford a gun. Nick, what? Nick, what are you? Most people didn't have access to a gun back in the day, bro. And then Ish Now, Ish, Ice, and Joe Buttons do this. They blame all the violence on the new school. Like, oh man, the new school. Hey, yo, bro, do y'all forget growing up in the 90s? Now, I'm 40. They older than me. Gun violence was popping. I don't know what y'all talking about. I'm not going to tell y'all where I was living, but it was in New Jersey. The gun violence was at an all-time high. I don't think it ever reached those numbers in the 90s. So y'all putting this on the younger generation. It's my generation, the 40-year-olds that really start playing with them guns and stuff like that. It's not the young bulls. Now, granted, do I think the average young bull could fight? No. But when I was growing up, the average person couldn't fight either. But y'all always put this on the younger generation. And to a certain extent, yeah, the younger generation can be soft when it comes to stuff. But y'all putting the gun violence on the younger generation, boy, please. My generation was shooting at everything. Yes, you was still getting scraps and stuff like that. But my generation was shooting at everything. But you got to be careful. Shout outs to Joe Buttons and Ish. They get money. But like from a physical standpoint, they washed up old heads. So they over glorifying when they was in their prime, bro. Like I said, overall, it was a good podcast. But y'all got to stop with this hypocritical nonsense. Like, subscribe, turn your notifications on. I'm out, man.